In the heart of West Africa, the gold-rich nation of Ghana has long stood as a beacon of wealth, opportunity, and the unrelenting drive to tap into the resources lying deep within its land. For centuries, the soil beneath the feet of its citizens has glittered with the promise of prosperity. The precious metal has brought great fortune to some, but the cost of extracting gold has often been steep. Over the years, the pursuit of wealth has resulted in the deterioration of Ghana's water bodies, forests, and the health of its people. Now, a glimmer of hope appears on the horizon as the nation gears up for a pivotal change, one that many hope will alter the very face of mining in Ghana: the arrival of mercury-free machines. These machines, which the government has introduced, symbolize a bold step towards sustainability, safety, and a more responsible way of extracting gold. Yet, their story is one that begins with the pressing need to tackle an environmental crisis, a crisis deeply rooted in Ghana's economic and social fabric. Quick reminder for those who haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so to stay updated on such insightful content and help us reach our goal of 30,000 subscribers by the end of this month. Your support means a lot. September 11th, 2024, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu Jinapor, stood before the media and announced a renewed offensive against illegal mining. His words, carrying the weight of a nation's hope for reform, spoke to a dual strategy, one that promised strict regulation enforcement on the one hand and significant reformative measures on the other. Central to this strategy was a single transformative innovation: the mercury-free mining machines. The arrival of these machines represents a concrete step towards a cleaner, safer, and more sustainable future for Ghana's mining sector. The machines, set to be distributed across the nation, aim to phase out the use of mercury in small-scale gold extraction entirely. For the government, this initiative is more than a technological upgrade. It is a battle against years of environmental degradation and the beginning of a new era of mining that aligns with the country's desire for long-term development. The moment has finally arrived. In a video circulating across social media, viewers caught their first glimpse of the new machines: sleek, efficient, and powerful tools that are expected to transform mining as the nation knows it. As anticipation builds, the machines are scheduled to be formally unveiled, marking a turning point in Ghana's decades-long struggle to balance its economic aspirations with its environmental responsibilities. But this effort is more than just the introduction of new technology. The government's initiative represents a larger, comprehensive shift in policy, one that acknowledges the complex reality of Ghana's mining sector. It is a recognition that while illegal mining has caused untold damage, it is also driven by economic necessity. For thousands of Ghanaians, small-scale mining is a means of survival, providing income for families and employment opportunities in areas where few alternatives exist. Therefore, any solution must not only enforce rules, but offer viable pathways for legal, sustainable, and profitable mining. Samuel Abu Jinapor's announcement was clear in this regard. The government's two-pillar strategy emphasizes not just enforcement, but reform. The introduction of mercury-free machines is a critical element of the reformative pillar, an acknowledgement that change must be inclusive and empower miners to embrace new practices. These machines are designed not only to mitigate environmental damage, but to make the process of gold extraction safer, more efficient, and ultimately more profitable for the miners themselves. This is a win-win scenario that the government hopes will encourage miners to transition away from harmful practices voluntarily. Indeed, the stakes are high. Failure to address illegal mining and mercury pollution would mean continued devastation for Ghana's environment and health, while also endangering the country's standing on the global stage as a responsible mining nation. However, the potential rewards of success are equally significant. By leading the way with mercury-free mining, Ghana could set a powerful example for other African nations and the world, showcasing how a resource-rich country can harmonize economic growth with environmental stewardship. Yet challenges remain. There are doubts about whether the distribution of mercury-free machines alone will be enough to combat illegal mining, especially when the economic incentives for GALAMSEY remain strong. Additionally, the effectiveness of these machines will depend on their accessibility, affordability, and ease of use for small-scale miners who have relied on traditional methods for generations. The government must ensure that education, training, and financial support are readily available to facilitate this transition. Beyond technology, enforcement remains a critical component of the government's strategy. The commitment to stringent regulations, coupled with incentives for legal mining operations, is designed to deter illegal practices. Yet, enforcement without reform risks alienating the very communities that need support the most. It is a delicate balancing act, one that requires collaboration between government agencies, local communities, international organizations, and the miners themselves. The journey ahead will be long and complex, but the arrival of mercury-free machines is a pivotal first step. These machines, shining with promise, are a symbol of what Ghana's mining industry could become, a sector defined not by destruction and exploitation, but by sustainability, innovation, and opportunity. They represent a future in which gold, a symbol of wealth, no longer comes at the cost of the nation's health and environment. As the story of these machines unfolds, so too does the story of a country striving for a brighter, cleaner future. Ghana's commitment to eliminating mercury from mining, despite the obstacles, reflects the resilience of its people and the determination of its leaders to safeguard the nation's natural heritage. Over the past decade, the term GALAMSEY, a local expression that means gather them and sell, has become synonymous with illegal small-scale mining. These small-scale operations, often driven by individuals or small groups of miners operating outside the bounds of the law, have contributed significantly to the nation's gold output. However, the environmental and social costs have been devastating. With makeshift tools and limited oversight, many Galamsey operators turned to mercury, a cheap and easy solution for extracting gold from the ore. Yet what seemed like an efficient method in the short term became a long-term threat to the environment and public health. Mercury is a powerful neurotoxin, and its use in gold mining has wreaked havoc on Ghana's natural landscapes. The process is simple, yet hazardous. Mercury is combined with sediments containing gold, creating an amalgam. This amalgam, containing both gold and mercury, is heated, causing the mercury to evaporate and leave behind raw gold. However, this process comes with a dire consequence. As the mercury evaporates, it releases toxic fumes into the air, which can settle over water bodies or agricultural fields when it rains. Mercury can also seep into the ground, contaminating water sources used by local communities for drinking, fishing, and farming. In the end, what remains is a toxic legacy that not only impacts the environment, but the health of entire communities. The signs of damage are already stark. Rivers that were once clear and teeming with life have become murky and lifeless, their banks choked with sludge and sediment. The alarming rise in mercury pollution has affected biodiversity, poisoning fish populations, and making them unsafe for consumption. Agricultural lands have been tarnished with toxic substances, impacting crop yields and threatening food security. The human cost has also been severe. From increased cases of mercury poisoning to birth defects and cognitive impairments, the health implications have been grave, particularly for those who rely on contaminated rivers for sustenance. This is the backdrop against which Ghana's government has vowed to act.
If today is your first time watching this channel or you are returning to this channel for the exciting content, please subscribe to the channel for more educative and developmental projects across Ghana and Africa as a whole. Do you want to know about the state of a project in Africa? Then make sure to like and comment the name of the project you would like us to talk about and its current state.